Hi, welcome to my EcoBUZZ. I'm Jessica Gregory. This is the third installment of a three-part series on dune formation that we've been talking about for the last few weeks. I'm super excited about this part though because this is really where the rubber meets the road. We're going to explore how dunes change successionally over time. So let's head on out to the lakeshore. When dunes are initially formed, they are constantly changing and provide a pretty bleak habitat for most plants and animals, except for the marram grass that we talked about in the last episode. However, through succession, a dune can go from this to this over hundreds of years. This whole process depends on the establishment of marram grass on the fore-dune, or the dune closest to the lakeshore. When that marram grass comes in, grows, and eventually dies, it leaves material that can then be decomposed, which creates a layer of organic matter on top of the sand. It creates new habitat that wasn't there before, and that allows other plants like the sand cherry behind me to become established. The only problem is that once these other plants arrive, the habitat is no longer ideal for marram grass. And that's what ecological succession is. It's a process where a certain species comes in and paves the way for other species, but in the process, they create a habitat that's no longer suitable for themselves. As more plants arrive and eventually die, soil continues to accumulate, providing more habitat for other larger species like these sun-loving oaks behind me. Now, white pines and other conifers are then able to grow up in the shade created by the oak trees. However, eventually the oaks start to die off because the shade that they've created is no longer a suitable habitat for them. So the dune succession continues. Finally, in come other tree species to comprise a mature forest: maples, beeches, cherry, and hemlock. Soil continues to accumulate, becoming a rich source of nutrients for understory shrubs and trees, and also flowering plants. The formation of this back dune forest is the culmination of dune succession, and it's all built on just a few inches of soil. That's right, about 6 inches below the surface of the soil here is pure sand. It's kind of like the icing on a cake, unless you like a lot of icing on your cake. These dunes are a unique land feature that are not found like this anywhere else in the world outside of the Great Lakes. They provide habitats for several threatened and endangered species like the pitcher's thistle, the fowler's toad, and the sandpiper. Dunes are constantly changing on their own, so not all disturbance is human-driven. However, we should try our best to keep our impacts minimal so these dunes stay here for others to enjoy. Stay on marked trails, keep off-roading vehicles to designated areas, and beware of erosion if building near a dune area. Thanks for joining me again this week. I hope you can make it out to the lakeshore sometime soon for your own dune exploration. Happy naturing!